Hey guys, welcome back.
Yeah, Welcome to the One Up Weekly Live.
Yeah.
Welcome
Hey.
back, guys. Hey.
What's up? How's
Not
it going,
much,
Justin?
man. Pretty good. I think we got a lot to talk about, right? We got some exciting things that we're going to be covering today. So, what do you
much
think?
stuff. Dude, so here's the thing. Remember how I told you like a minute ago that Kim might ask me for something and I'm going to have to go?
Yeah.
All right, so I got to go. But you just I'll be back quick. So
okay.
You set the stage for the show. You know what we're talking about.
Yep.
Do that real quick and then I'll be right back.
Yeah, so guys, check this out. We're going to be talking about iArcade, and we're going to be talking about the comparison of that to the Legends Ultimate. And there's a lot of things that they have in common. You know, the two different devices have similarities, and there's a little bit of competition going on. And we started reading between the lines, and we think shots have been fired between the Legends Ultimate and the iArcade. And we're going to break it down for you guys. We're going to tell you the stories. We're going to tell you what we know about the various cabinets and what you can look forward to, you know, from the community, from all the way to the products, to features that are coming out. A lot of cool things that we're going to be discussing tonight. And hopefully Ralph will be back with us in just a few minutes. I want to remind you guys that we did take a look at the iArcade back in January, and this is what it looked like. And now it's looking something more like this, which is a little bit more pleasing to the eyes, I would say. You know, wouldn't you guys agree? Wait, what is going on? Oh, come on. What?
Justin,
what is going on?
what's up? It's Future Ralph again. How's it going, dude?
Dude.
I got literally, no, we got to do this quick. I have 5 minutes and that's it.
Okay.
So I'm going to have to be really, really quick with you here.
All right.
Good?
What's happening?
Okay, so there's good news. Everything worked. I fixed everything. Everything we talked about is 100% resolved.
Just great
PK's
news.
not dead. Yeah. PK's not dead. We've completely figured out the whole entire thing.
Yeah.
So it's good. But there's one thing. So now that everything is good, there's something I need to tell you, and it's important because it actually involves both you and Ralph in current time.
Okay. All right.
right,
I just have one question for you. Do you never cut your hair as President Ralph, and that's why you have long hair? I just put it together.
What do you mean?
Future Ralph never cuts his hair from this day on. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh my God, I don't have any time for any of this. All right, so check this out. So you gotta get you gotta listen to me because
I'm
I
listening.
literally have 3 more minutes. You gotta get Ralph to talk about AtGames again. Okay.
Yeah, well, but you know how Ralph is. He doesn't really like to talk about AtGames. Like, I don't know why. Like,
all right, well, dude, he's kind of he's a sensitive guy. Just pull on his heartstrings a little bit. Maybe play into his ego or whatever.
Okay,
but at the end of this episode, what?
Can you answer something? Why doesn't he not like to talk about AtGames? Like, how do I get him? You know him. How do I get him to
make him feel safe, Justin? You do that all the time. Make him feel safe. Don't be normal. Don't be the normal Justin who's kind of brutally honest. Play into him a little bit, because if you do the normal thing, yeah, Ralph, I don't know, he's such a dude. You gotta just be cool with him, and you'll get him to talk about it again. Okay,
all right.
Talk about it again.
Well, okay. So why do we have to do this?
I can't tell you, but obviously I've been time traveling. I know what's going on.
Right.
There's something big. You're going to love it, and he's going to love it. You just got to get him over this hump so he starts talking about it again. And I thought this was the perfect episode to come back on because you guys were already going to talk about iArcade and against AtGames. So it's good, right? I did
Very
something good. Yeah, I'm trying to help it out. Now he's going to resist. He's going to resist big time, but put the heat on, okay? And if you're sensitive enough, he'll probably open up as to why he stopped in the first place.
Okay.
But don't be too full brutal with him, because then he won't do it. He'll shut down. You don't want him to shut down.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay.
Was there anything else? Stringer Films has a. He said he wants to know, is P-Dubs dead in the future? Can you answer that real quick?
No. He's alive. He's fine.
Okay, so P-Dubs is cool.
Yeah, he
Just say it.
He needs
P-Dubs
to
is
calm
cool.
down.
Please
He's cool,
say
but
it.
he needs to-
So say it. P-Dubs is cool.
He's fine. He has a dip. He does a lot of chewing tobacco and he eats too much, but that's just I can't help that.
Okay. All right. Well, sounds good.
There was one other thing.
What is it?
Please make him make fun of the name because he's going to anyway. But like, you know, I mean, the whole like,
All right.
like he loves it. Like feed
gotta
him to
keep-
that because he
okay,
loves
okay.
that stuff. You
All
know,
right,
it
all
started
right,
with the
right.
toy
Like
shark.
Toy shark. Yeah.
Yeah, and the like he loves that stuff.
Yeah, and the woo.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, and
That's good, right?
he loves all that stuff.
Okay,
Yeah, he's
okay,
all
sounds
about
good.
that. All right, so I gotta go.
Mhm.
I'm gonna leave, and then I think like he should be back within like at least 2 minutes. Okay, I'm out of
Okay.
here. But don't you got what you have to do, right? You understand?
Yep. I think I got it.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm trusting that you can do this.
I can do this. It
All
might
right, I'm
take a
out.
while, but I think I can get him on board.
All right, I'm out. Bye, guys. Don't give away that we already fixed everything. This is the one last thing we got to fix, and I think we can do this. So you help me help you, or help me help him.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
Help me help myself.
We'll figure it out.
Something like that. You guys got it. All right, I'm out.
Okay, I got it. Cool,
All right.
man. Okay, so everyone needs to help out with us, okay? So we're going to get Ralph on board with AtGames. Now, I know a lot of details about Ralph and AtGames, and I'm not really sure what Ralph is exactly going to be talking about, but there's a lot of really cool features about the AtGames that we've didn't cover, that we haven't been talking about, and it's just unfortunate because the community needs to know. The community needs to know a different angle about AtGames, and I think maybe we can use today's episode where we're contrasting between iArcade and AtGames to talk about why the Legends Ultimate is actually pretty good. All right, that's the thing. It took me 6 months to figure it out, and now I need to use that information to convince Ralph that it's a really, really, really good cabinet because that will save the future, right? And that's what it's all about. We got to save the future, and we got to put it all back the way we remember it. You know, we have to right what was wrong and get back. You know, it's kind of like, Back to Future 2, right? That's is basically it. So will you help me give this a 1 in the chat? Whoa. Okay, cool. So he's gone. He left. So we should get current Ralph back soon. So let's see what happens. Mr. RetroRalph.
Hey, dude.
Hey,
sorry.
how's it going?
Yeah.
yeah.
Did you get them all figured out as far as like the agenda of the show and everything?
Yeah, man. So we're talking about the iArcade. And
Sorry about that.
we-
I'm sorry about that. You knew Kim was gonna ask.
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
just, I
no
knew that
big
was
deal,
gonna
dude.
happen.
Yeah, don't worry. There was like a super chat while you were gone, but don't even worry about it. I do a pretty good job on my own. Some people think I don't, but everyone knows I does, right? So, iArcade,
Okay.
once you go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. So the whole point of this episode was to talk about do this kind of interesting compare and contrast to iArcade and AtGames. Now we all know
Right.
AtGames has a product that's been out for a while, but what I thought was why this is interesting, and again, iArcade doesn't have a product yet, but it's a comparison of two products that are connected arcades, and we don't really have a connected arcade in this space. In this three-quarter space, we don't really have one. Now, you could argue that Arcade 1-Up is doing some stuff with connected, but there's no downloadable content and things like that at this point. So we're not even going to have them in this conversation. This is just these two products. But when you start looking at so we thought it'd be fun to do a compare and contrast of these.
Right. Yeah. So let's talk about that. So let's start with the AtGames Legend Ultimate. So the Legends Ultimate, I just have to say, let's set the stage, Ralph. Right? If you can remember, it's been out for a while, right? It's been out for like a whole year. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
So the Legends Ultimate, it is the first connected cab, right? There was no other cabinet that came out before the AtGames Legend Ultimate that was connected to the internet, and I think that's pretty sweet. You got to give your hats off to AtGames for doing that, right? And secondly, they came out after Arcade 1-Up, but dude, the controls, let's talk about that for a minute. Ralph, tell me what you think about the Legends Ultimate controls, the joysticks, the buttons. What do you think?
Yeah, so obviously I kind of stopped covering the system for a little while, but I'll go back in my mind. I use it from time to time, but yeah, no, the controls are actually really good. So I would almost say for most gamers, you could just leave it as is. I'd say the only thing maybe that, if I had to compare them to anything, they're really, really good Sanwa clones, with a little bit, you could almost argue that the that the stick is maybe even a little stiffer than like a Sanwa JLF, like a stock Sanwa JLF. It feels really good. I mean, you might have some people that you want to switch it out to like a bat top maybe, but I mean, if you're cool with the ball top, you could leave those as is. I mean, obviously it depends on what kind of gaming you want to do, but being something that's more of like a multicade, you're probably fine leaving it, right? But that's not, that all the customization stuff you could do on any cabinet, right? So that's just up to you, but I do think they're pretty good. I even think the spinner's really good too. My only maybe if I had to give any criticism on the control panel, I could say I'm not the biggest fan of the trackball, but you can actually manipulate the trackball from the bottom and make that a little looser. So the control panel is really good. I can't really complain about it at all.
Yeah. And, and there's a whole bunch of special features that the AtGames Legends Ultimate has, and this website spells it out for you. So they have ArcadeNet, they have BYOG, you got HDMI, USB peripherals right on top of it. They mentioned the classic controls, and I've checked this out. As a software developer, I've downloaded this, and the SDK, it's basically their tool chain to be able to build whatever you want. No one's really talking about that, maybe because no one's playing with it, but it unlocks the ability for people to kind of build their own apps for the Legends Ultimate, at least keeps it possible. And that's also something that Arcade 1-Up is not doing. So, our show is about iArcade as well, so maybe we can talk about that before. Remember, Ralph, do you remember at CES? Preparing for this week's episode, I took a look at this video that I hadn't seen in a really long time, and it was really cool. We had a really fun time. It brought me back to all that. So what are your thoughts about the original iArcade, that we saw back in January?
Well, it was interesting because you and I had the same feedback. I'll start with looks first, right? When we first walked up to the booth, I think we were both like, ugh. Like, we both were like, that looks gross. Because all you saw when you were walking up, because they were kind of on a corner booth, was the big gigantic R. So we're like, ah. Oh.
Right.
So we'll start with that. Our criteria one was looks, right? Didn't like the looks. And Justin was actually like, I was nice about the looks. Justin was just like, so who exactly evaluated the looks of this product and design? Because we think it does. Like, I personally think it doesn't look good. So Justin was brutally honest, where I was trying to be maybe a little bit more sensitive on, I didn't know if that guy I was talking to was the one that designed it.
I wasn't trying to be mean, but I just wanted to be very clear. I didn't want to just sit there and be like, this is amazing, this is amazing. This,
you were very honest, extremely honest.
Yeah.
So looks, we kind of gave it a thumbs down, right?
Right.
But then, and in the beginning, before they actually brought us to the systems that are in the back, which are the same systems, just running games that weren't licensed at the time.
Right. I think you can kind of see it while we were there. Right back here, behind here. Yeah. That's the game they showed us. In fact, I was looking at it. If we watch their video, right there it is, for 2 seconds, and we're going ahead and mentioning this in our show. Even though back at CES they said don't bring this up, but the cat's out of the bag now, because right here, the iArcade's official video right here, they show some of the games that we were playing on the new cab, and that's what blew us away. Because and these aren't games, like first-person shooters aren't typically things you'd want to play with arcade sticks, but I was more intrigued on, wow, their hardware must be pretty good to run a game like this. You know what I mean? So that was kind of interesting to me. Now I'll go to criteria 2. So criteria 1 was looks, and we weren't really sold on the look. Although if I still think of looks, and our second criteria is form factor, I was kind of cool with the form factor just because we hadn't seen a really good bar top in the space really pop up. Bar tops are tough. Mostly they were DIY kits. So this was the first bar top home arcade outside of the countercades, but this is more of a multi-cade bar top, and we hadn't seen anything like that. Right. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So this is what the iArcade looks like now, and their idea is they're going to build this bar top, right? And it's got, it seems like the processing power on this is more higher end than some of the other stuff that we've seen out there. But also, to be fair, iArcade is a newer company. It's more of a startup. AtGames has been around for about 20 years, if we were to compare those two things. Do you remember, Ralph, what iArcade did before, or I should say iArcade did before?
So obviously the iArcade crew loves certain vowels, and they like the vowel I, right? So
Right.
the company before this one was a company called, but except they moved the vowel from front to back. So the old company, I'm being a little funny here, but the old company, the old company they had was called Hop II, and it was
Right.
like some kind of brewing system. So which also was done as a Kickstarter. So it was interesting. So and we'll circle back to the Kickstarter piece in a little bit. But the one thing I wanted to talk about, all right, we gave looks a thumbs down there.
Yep.
I don't actually think this looks that bad. Now, I'll say it with a caveat. It doesn't have anything that's nostalgic to me, but it looks better than it did. Okay.
That's right.
So okay, we'll kind of put that one aside. Now, the other thing that we said to them during our meeting with them was, hey, you have a 17-inch monitor on one of them and a 19-inch monitor on the other.
So this left one right here, that's the 17-inch. You can see all this bezel over here.
Yeah.
But if you jump over here, let's see. Yeah, this is when we move to the right. Oh, great. An ad play. You can everyone see that. By the way, while we're talking about it, don't get a gamer chair. They suck. They're not any good. They break. Just get an office chair. Hey, what am I supposed to say? A freaking ad showed up while I'm in here.
But you're going to make me lose my train of thought here.
Okay,
So the 19-inch.
This is the 17-inch, and then eventually we go over to the right-hand side. There it is. The right-hand side is this is the 19-inch. You can see the bezel is smaller.
Yeah, so that was one of the things that I said to them, and Justin and I both said was, hey, no one really has a 19-inch screen at the time, right? No one really has a 19 on an arcade like this, although the Legends Ultimate was out then, so it is a larger screen.
But it's a 19 4x3, right? Or
yeah,
19.
Yep, 19 with traditional aspect ratio.
Right.
So that was a differentiator in our mind. So, but it looks like now they're going to go with that. There isn't going to be a 17 and a 19 option. It's just going to be a 19 option, which I thought was pretty cool. So there's that. So now we've covered, the looks of it, which they've improved with the monitor, which I don't really have a problem with a 17-inch monitor. I just thought, hey, if you can get it bigger, that's pretty cool. So that, got to give them a little check mark in the positive side there. That's an awesome screenshot, by the way. And then the other thing that's like the sleeper thing that I just didn't expect it, is he brought us in the back and we didn't hear sound because they didn't have the front units have sound on. We go in the back and he's like, check this out. And like literally it's like stupid loud. Justin and I both kind of like jump. It was so loud because we didn't expect it to be loud. Now he had it on like 11. It was a little too much. Yeah, he had it way too high, but it was interesting because they had this big focus on the audio. And now if you listen to Zhang's interviews with certain people, he was on the Tech Buzz. He talks about, he overly used the word experience without defining what experience meant. And I don't know why he couldn't have just said this. I don't know why he couldn't have just said, we have good controls. We have a larger screen, which kind of helps you sort of feel like you're more, in the game. And the audio, when there's a gunshot or if you get hit, like you do feel bass to a point because the audio system is so good. Like he could have said that. That to me is part of that experience. I don't know why he never really got there.
Well, but I don't. Maybe in interview form they don't speak very well, but like in written form, if you kind of break it down, bring the experience, arcade gaming.
Well, this is where it gets weird.
Yeah, so they're clearly home arcade, right? That's their target.
Yep.
The development team at iArcade has worked hard to source premium components. Okay, they're out in the front. That we're saying we're going to do premium, right? When it comes, and we do agree that even the one in January that we played with it had really good sticks and buttons on it. But then what do they say,
Justin,
Ralph?
if you scroll up though, they start pot shots on the first one. So they're like a company doesn't have a product yet, like going to rip the gloves off already. So but I really spent time to read these to see, like, from a competitive standpoint, what are they saying? So the first box here, the one you were just on, Justin, above, they're basically saying, like, look, we have good components. Now, they kind of take the jab here, not so much at AtGames. They take the jab at, if you bring it back up, they take it at Arcade 1-Up. Because they actually call out that it's not a toy.
Right.
So they're like, bam, to Arcade 1-Up. But keep in mind, as you keep reading, they're taking jabs at AtGames too. So it's like they're like coming out all like guns blazing, which is kind of interesting.
So this is good. The immersive arcade gaming for home. So that the word immersive, again, it's a word he said a lot, but
yeah,
I think he's talking.
He likes
about
it because it begins with a vowel. He likes it. It's immersive.
He loves
immersive.
Several eyes, right? But he also talks about the legally licensed games with perfect experience of the games that we remember. And that's what we talked about, where this is kind of a shot at AtGames. Is that right?
Yeah. So this one to me is, because obviously we know, and there's people that think this is good or people that think this is bad. If I go buy an arcade 1-up, it's a system that looked like that system or trying to look like that system with the artwork, and they have licensed ROMs on there. And sometimes with the newer wave cabinets, they've even worked with a commercial emulation company like Code Mystics to develop the emulator and the software for the game. Sometimes even rewriting elements of the ROM if necessary, right? Because of licensing or whatever.
Well, I think we should talk about the AtGames Legends Ultimate a little bit more. There's a lot of people talking.
But we didn't. You did just walk me into a path, and you didn't.
So Legends Ultimate.
You didn't let me finish.
Okay, all right.
There was a key point in there. It was a competitive point.
What's the competitive point? All right, Ralph.
We can circle back to it, but you bring it back on the screen really quick.
This one, okay.
Please.
Yep.
So it's the licensed the part where he goes legally licensed games with perfect experiences. We need to talk about that as we go through here, because that's kind of punching AtGames in a way, because there are legally licensed ROMs on AtGames, but there's also methods you can use to play both legally licensed ROMs and then ROMs you obtain through other methods.
Okay. Let's talk about this, Ralph, because you built an entire channel on the idea of taking an arcade 1-up cabinet and then modding it, right?
Yep. 100%.
And then the whole idea of modding it, a lot of people would Raspberry Pi on it. Maybe you're going to put a Pandora's box on it. Maybe you're going to put a PC in it. All of that is modding. So clearly, with the success of your channel, there's a community of people that are really interested in taking a cabinet like Arcade 1-up and turning it into not an Arcade 1-up cabinet, right?
Yeah, I'm not actually debating the fact that how you decide to do a mod, because on the channel I've mostly actually done, if you go back and look at all my mods, most of those mods are with original arcade hardware to some degree. There are some where I might have used a Pi, or there's some where I might have used, lately I've been doing a lot of coin ops. Like we all know, we're all friends here, right? There's a lot of games on there, and you don't have a license to use those, right? So I'm not calling out that specifically, but what I'm calling out is I think they're taking a jab at the 350 potentially, or the fact that maybe there's means to get them some legitimate, some foggy, and when you're a company that's selling your product outright, there's certain things you can do and advertise, and there's certain things that the community will do to enhance the product that is in the gray area.
So let me tell you what I think our iArcade is trying to do. So you got AtGames, and they have the Legends Ultimate 350 games. We'll talk about that more. We got the iArcade, or you got the Arcade 1-up and people modding it. Now, what Arcade 1-up brings, Arcade 1-up brings something to the table. The key thing they bring, I think, when it comes to the community and the modding, is the simplicity. The simplicity of, let's say you buy it and you just want to play those 4 games. Super simple, super easy. Simplicity. Once you start modding it, then it's not really simple. I mean, a lot of people say it's super simple to mod it, but there's a lot of time invested into that. But okay, whatever. So then you have the Legends Ultimate.
Remember this, Justin, right? I mean, we do have people have to remember that when you look at something like this and you go mod it, it's easy to mod it. It's not easy to mod it for everyone. There are people that buy PCs and open them up and they don't do any customization to it. That's just a computer, right? Or they buy things. They like an iPhone because they don't have to do all the mucking around on an Android potentially. So there's products for different consumers.
It's easy to mod an Arcade 1-up cabinet. Then go make a YouTube channel that talks about Arcade 1-up, and see how many comments you get from people that are like, "Hey, can you help me with this this and with this?"
Dude, and Justin, that's a great point. If I looked at how many messages I get per day, there are people that will literally be like, "Hey, I have the Pi, it's in there, and I can't connect the wiring to the encoder board. But the encoder board they're working on is the one in the 1-up, and they're trying to hook it up, and the ribbon cable doesn't work." So yeah, I mean, it's not like this shoe-in that everyone knows it. Now, I'd view this, people that watch this show and watch some of these other shows, they're actually a lot more sophisticated when it comes to doing this, and maybe they've done stuff like this in the past, so their comfort level's higher.
Yeah, so this is where the iArcade might be trying to bridge the gap, where they're saying there's another set of people that are unlike Stringer Films, that where he says the modding is the most fun part.
Believe
and
me,
that's
Stringer Films, I'm all you. That's me all
there's
day
there's
long.
there's a lot of fun in the modding, and Nostalgia, you make a good point. What exactly is modding? And I think the term is different for different people, right?
Yeah, I mean, it could be a mod. Could be I replace the buttons. Could be I put a new bat top, or it could be I'd replace the whole thing. So,
or you do side load games in it.
Good point, though.
All those different things to it. But I think when it comes to the iArcade, I don't think they want people to mod it per se. Not when it comes to, they don't want to,
exactly. Well, so there's another
side load games
too,
and stuff like that. But they're going to make it easy, right? They're going to make it easy to be able to download different games, which for a second, isn't that what AtGames said that they would do, right? AtGames, let's jump back to AtGames. This has been out for a year now, and they do have the BYOG. And the BYOG, they have these streaming games, right? And they're all free. They're available right now. So this is their side that's potentially going to be subscription. And they have, what is it, a couple dozen games. Metal Slug is on there, and it's really
there's
nice.
a lot more now than initially. I want to say that's like in the 40s or something now. I can't remember the exact count, but I actually so I did a video a long time ago where there was a lot of confusion around BYOG. Like they were talking about a subscription, then they didn't, then they were, then now it's beta. So
Nostalgia says there's 48.
40
That's
something.
pretty good.
48. Yeah. Thank you, Nostalgia. So you got these 48 games. Now, I was actually one of the people that was actually really excited about the idea of a subscription I was talking about ArcadeNet, not BYOG. We're talking about ArcadeNet. So in ArcadeNet, I was actually really excited about the idea that, hey, they host it. I don't have to worry about it.
Right.
I can stream the game when I want it. And if I want it a la carte, I can. You want to know why I was interested in that? Because I don't have the time to go hunt and peck for it. Sometimes. Sometimes I want to do a video on something. And I want to go click, download, play. I would pay an a la carte fee for that. Or a subscription. So I was actually really excited about that. What kind of like threw me for a loop is they went and invested a lot more time. And again, this we're talking about as it currently exists right now. I have no idea what they're working on. Tomorrow they could come out with ArcadeNet 2.0 and it's got awesome games on it, hundreds of games with a great subscription service that makes sense. And if so, then they finally achieved what I was thinking. I was just kind of confused by going and investing developer time and resources on making things that seem like, number one, they weren't money making for AtGames. So I was like, well, why do you want to show them ways to put games on there that aren't potentially licensed and you don't make any revenue on? Like, I don't get that. And it was harder to do. So like, to me, that was harder to create those UCE files for the general population, even though there's tutorials and stuff, versus, hey, just offer it on your subscription service. I really, truly believe that with gaming today, everyone's used to subscription services. And if the price is reasonable enough, people will pay for it, especially if the games are good. Right. I do truly believe that. I would 100% do a subscription service if the games are good all day long. Right. And let them worry about it, not me.
So Ralph, let me try to be kind here, okay? Be sensitive to this. We're talking about AtGames, and you're saying a lot about your feelings, about what you wish and you'd like.
Yeah, well, I got a little burnt out.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Like, why did you get burned out over? You did a lot of great videos for AtGames, but then you kind of just stopped.
Dude, I just think I got really burnt out on the fact that it was like, super rapid fire firmware updates, and I was making a video, and then it was like another one, and like it got to the point where I couldn't even cover the stuff I want to cover on the channel, because the channel's gone in a lot of different directions now. Like, I do lots of stuff on the channel now. It started as like, hey, I didn't know it was even gonna be this as successful as it is now. So to me, I was like, I was covering different things, but at first it was started with 1UP, and my love for modding things and showing people arcade hardware is where it started. And I was excited. I was genuinely super excited about this AtGames cabinet. But
let's talk about that just for a second.
It burnt me out.
Sure, they did release an update about every week, but they're a software development shop. They've got engineers, and they're doing weekly sprints. It's very simple. They go through a process where they're writing code, they're making updates.
But
And
you're a
then
developer, so this is what you do.
This is what I would want. This is how I would set it up. Maybe the YouTubers that were doing, even yourself, you were doing it yourself, where you were doing, a follow-up video that was basically, was like, here's the release notes and here's exactly what they're doing. Maybe that caused you yourself to burn out. It's like, okay, here we did a software update, and then we did a patch update. Now we're going to do a software update. We're going to add features. But when it really comes down to it, Arcade 1UP is not doing this.
Agreed.
They don't even have the ability to do a firmware update at all on their boxes.
I agree.
At all.
So it's like I guess, Justin, what would have maybe not burnt me out on it was if if what we got day one, and this isn't actually me being critical.
No,
it's
hold
just
on.
me being honest.
We got to talk about this. AtGames is always updating it. It's like they sent out an unfinished product. But here's the thing.
This is where I'm going, though.
This is not true. This is not true. You can say that about some of their patch updates and they're fixing things, and it's not always perfect. But keep in mind, several features that they've added to the cabinet are features that I've submitted, that P-Dubs has submitted, that Steven has submitted, that Ralph, you submitted, like the OTG.
Oh, really? Could we talk about the ones that I did, actually?
Yeah, like the hook up a Raspberry Pi. That was your
thing. Yeah, can we talk about those? It was RetroRalph's.
Well, keep in mind, so
okay.
if they actually did spend a year on it and then just release it, they wouldn't have actually got any of the updates that we were submitting, right? And of course, just like any software development shop, if you add new features, you have the risk of and if you have a QA process, some companies do, where they have a QA process that's like 2-3 weeks long, and then you release it and you kind of worked out all the bugs. But if you do that, then you can't have the cadence of a weekly release. And so this is what
I get it. I get you're trying to get me back on track. But I had one more thing that I want to vent about, and because this one was like, you guys can go back and watch those videos. In those videos, when I was doing my intros, I was like, oh yeah, AtGames drops the mic. Like, I was so hyped up. I was extra hype, man.
Yeah.
I was getting all into it. And then, so the one thing that I was kind of bugged by, this bugged me right away. One of the things I was using a ton in the cabinet, and I was paying the $1 per hour for it, was the Steam. It had a tile that said Steam, and I hit that tile, and it would bring me to my cloud server, right, in Direct to Drive, which is a service that AtGames purchased. I didn't have to set anything up. I just put in my Steam information. That seemed so easy. Why go from that to a PC that I have to do everything on? That's like a clean slate. So that was weird to me because I'm like, dude, you guys had something super cool there. It's still cool, but now I got to go install Steam. So I was getting bothered by it. So I kind of got annoyed. But again, I was an early adopter. Yeah. So had I got the product as it is now, maybe I wouldn't have been so bugged. Okay. You know what I mean? Because the things I liked were being taken away or changed. That's why.
Here's what I think. Let's talk about this. So I think this is the amazing thing that AtGames did. PK, the CEO, the guy that loves initials so much that he asks everyone to call him by one. This guy, despite that, is kind of a genius. Because I think what he did, he's been releasing products for several years, right? He worked for Sega for a while. A lot of people don't talk about that, right? It's very interesting. He worked for Sega for about a year, and then he stopped, created AtGames in around 2000. The at symbol, by the way, the AT stands for an at sign, as in, remember back in the early 2000s, everything was at connected. He wanted to build a connected system from day one. Literally, it's in the name AtGames. It really means connected games. Since 2000, right? And he's been exploring that idea for 20 years. And finally, the time was right. And he's built that relationship with, say, Walmart. And he figured it out. He figured out what the community wants and what Walmart wants. And what the community wants is a DIY kit that you can buy for $500 and then make it do whatever you want. And what Walmart wants is a cabinet that's for $500 that has 350 games on it. Because 350 games satisfies that buzzword. It's the value. Okay. It's what Walmart is all about. Walmart is all about value. So from their eyes, they're selling value. And from the community, we do whatever we want with that cabinet. And that is genius. The fact that they say, hey, we're going to build. Think about it. How much does it cost to buy a DIY kit?
Okay, so
outside of
Justin,
AtGames?
you're okay. You're kind of. That was a really good. I don't know. Did you rehearse that? Because that was actually really good. I liked that.
no.
That I liked because I think if I look at the product that way, then I think of it differently. So
Yeah, like
I think
they
I think
built
back
a
of-
distribution network for DIY. $500 free shipping now. Come on, like it comes ready to go. Like for example, let me just
feel like-
let me
but-
just
but I
nail
feel-
this point to you one more time, real quick.
All right, because
I'm going to share the screen. Check this out. So if you look at the actual cabinet itself, I had to explain this to a coworker recently because he was like,
Okay.
I'm going to get a MAME cabinet, and I'm going to spend about $1,000 is what he said, and I was like, dude, go get the Legends Ultimate, and he's like, oh, is it hard to assemble? I was like, dude, check this out. This top part right here, that's one piece, fully assembled, ready to go. The control panel is another piece, fully assembled, ready to go. And the only thing you have to put together is this box, 4 sides. Screw it together, put the monitor on top, put the control deck in, plug it in, and you're ready to go. And then he's like, yeah, can I add games to it? Sure, load it on a thumb drive. It's a pretty simple process. And boom, you can play your own games. I'm like, even they have a server where you can connect to and play modern games on it. I actually sold myself on the idea of the Legends Ultimate. And if you may not have noticed, boom, got one. I've actually had one for about 6 months. I just never showed it because it was in my office, because I was really tinkering with it.
I thought it was because you hated it.
No, like,
I'm kidding. That's a joke.
Yeah. No, I don't hate it. I think I've realized what it is. And what it is, it's a MAME cabinet that's sold at Walmart. And they're leveraging Walmart's distribution system, so the shipping is almost nothing, right?
Yeah.
And no one's been able to do that. You go and find out, like, every other, DIY, like, company, the Rec Room Master, they wish they could ship a cabinet for $500. No offense. But all of them wish they could do that. PK did it.
So, okay, you're getting me back on track, I think, a little bit here, because when I think about it, right, if I go back and the stuff I've never done like a talking video about what I did before YouTube, but like for a lot of years, it's probably it could almost be 15 to 20, maybe. I don't know. Maybe close to 20. As I did MAME, that was when I always loved arcades. I just set up a PC at first, got MAME working, got super excited about that. Then I was like, I bought a full-size Galaga machine, which I kind of left alone and tinkered with a little bit. Then I bought a Cocktail DIY kit to put my MAME PC in. I taught myself hyperspin, to make it look pretty. But at the time, that took me a really long time to do. Like the MAME part was kind of sort of easy, but then there was like MAME ROM compatibility with the version of MAME and all that stuff. So at the time, it wasn't like as straightforward. It definitely wasn't. And hyperspin was a freaking bitch and a half to configure, and things like Big Box Launch Box didn't exist. Like a lot of these easier front ends, CoinOps was like maybe further down the road on an Xbox, but I wasn't interested in that at the time. So it was complex, and it wasn't like for everyone. People would come over and go, "Oh my gosh, what the heck is that?" Like you had some gem that they wanted, right? That seemed so unattainable, and then when you taught them what you had to do it. They're like, oh, screw that. I don't want that. And then they're asking you, can you build me one? And you're like, oh my God, I invested so much time in it. I don't want to build one for this like, even though you wanted to be nice. So like, I think if I look at this as what you're saying, it's almost like what I did or what we all did, right? 10, 15 years ago, but bringing it to the masses in a way that's easy, because if all I have to do is follow some instructions to build a file that I put on a USB stick to put inside this device that can natively play MAME ROMs, that's kind of cool, right? Like,
yeah.
and I was genuinely excited about that. So but I didn't think of it as a DIY kit.
Well,
but
let's
it kind of sort of is.
iArcade, right? Just started. And prior to this, what did they do? Is this
they made a beer brewing system or something?
Is this 20 years in the making? Now, I don't mean to be mean to you guys, iArcade, if you're watching this, but to be fair, Scott Bacharach from AtGames sold toys before this. But
no, Scott Bacharach from Arcade 1-Up. You said
I'm sorry. I get it mixed up. Sorry. So he sold games, so he already had that relationship with Walmart. So he called up Walmart and was like, "Hey guys, I'm going to build some arcades," and they're like, "Sounds good." PK, same phone number, right? He's like, "Hey guys, we're going to build an arcade," and they're like, "Sounds good, PK, we love you." And then this is why these guys are, unfortunately, they're a startup because they're going, it's a Kickstarter because I don't think they can make that phone call. I don't think the Walmart's picking up. But that doesn't mean we talked about this before. We're in it. We're here for the community. We'll be backing this Kickstarter. We do want to help this company because we believe iArcade has an opportunity. So we'll do our part. We'll buy one. We'll review it. I mean, wait, we did talk about that, right, Ralph? You're good with the Kickstarter?
Wait, what?
I was planning on backing the Kickstarter
did
once.
Justin just spend $300 of my dollars of my money? Cool. Thanks, Justin.
Won't be the first time.
Thanks, bud. Yeah, I mean, so obviously I've bought tons of arcade 1-ups.
Right.
I've bought tons of well, not tons. I bought one AtGames Legends Ultimate. I bought I did the pre-order for the Legends Gamer. People don't know that. I don't know if I talked about that. And I will do this. I will do this because I want to check it out for the community. But we'll see. I don't know what it's going to be like. Now, for me to sit here and go, the recent news, they got that VP from Sony, like he needs to show up, right? Like you need to show up day one and do something. So just because you get a VP from Sony doesn't mean crap. It means nothing. It means, yes, maybe you have someone that has some experience, but until they do something, doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I think that's coming from the business side of Ralph. He's like, you work for some company and then, new CTO joins and you're like, okay, it usually takes like a couple months for them to
they can come in and burn. It can be like a flame ball to hell, or they can come in and be like, I know exactly what we need to do. So like any executive change at a company or an additional executive add, they come with ideas. Now, whether or not they can execute those ideas is another thing. So for like when I did that video the other day, I wasn't going to report on it and be like, this is awesome. Oh my God. Because like it doesn't mean anything yet. It could. He might do something awesome, but we'll just see, right?
I mean,
it's to
be fair, I do like the idea where they're like, I'm on my phone and I'm like, boom, I want this game and it just shows up on it. To be fair, AtGames could probably do that. Probably not that hard. Like, I don't know, maybe AtGames should do that just to be like, yeah, we're not the only one that can make it where you can configure your device from your phone.
Yeah, I mean, so we didn't even we're so passionate on this episode that I feel like we didn't even talk about that. Like that's a cool thing, right? It's like their whole idea is they have an app store on your phone. For iArcade, you go, hey, I want to download this game, and then later on, you buy it. We don't know. They might have a subscription service. We don't know that yet. Yeah. You pick the game, and it's on your cabinet. But the thing is, like, I want to be real with you guys. We will invest the money in it. Your guess is as good as mine if it's going to be successful, if the games list is going to be good, but it's interesting. If you read through all those blurbs on there, they're taking a pot shot at Arcade 1-Up. They're taking a pot shot at AtGames. They're taking a pot shot at everyone, yet they're not even really funding the project. They're having the community fund the project. So that could either go really well or it might not, because you guys might not support it, because we can't. We will for the channel, but
here's the thing: I don't see iArcade will make it. Just my feeling. Another side
Rhode
of
Island,
the benefit,
baby. Rhode Island people from Rhode Island are pretty smart. I've heard that before.
Yeah,
I mean,
but the other thing is like, dude. So the Kickstarter, how much of Kickstarter money is going to go to Walmart? It's basically direct to consumer. So they just to be clear, just to be honest, when it comes to the iArcade, they probably don't have to sell as many to consider themselves successful.
Yeah. But see, Nostalgia has a point here, right? He says, well, his value is going to be these strong. He's 18-year VP. I'm sure he knows a lot of people, right? I'm sure he has lots of experience. Now he's meant to secure licenses,
right?
But that doesn't mean he may have great relationships and everything. They might be like, we're not interested in a bar top product. Like they might not, So it's not a shoe-in that he has great relationships that it's going to be something good. I hope it is, right? For everyone that's considering investing in it. But I think that's a TBD thing, right? But he does have the tools he needs to be successful. Now, whether or not he will it's anyone's guess, right? But it's a good point. He could potentially bring some really strong relationships and translate those to some really interesting licensing deals, which make us want to buy the product, because the product itself is kind of cool, sounds good, looks better, the controls are good. If it comes with good games, because he's able to secure some interesting licenses, that'll make us all really interested.
Yeah.
But we at least have to be honest and say none of those licenses or very few of those exist right now. So,
That's right.
But it's a really good point, Nostalgia. We're totally on board with that.
That's right. And to be fair, I think
Stringer Films
just
gives
to
me- Hold
just
on,
to-
the super chat from Stringer Films. It says, "Save your money." Thanks, Stringer Films. Appreciate that.
I think, Ralph, to be clear, like I think I can reach you. Let me see if I can reach you deep inside. And it goes like this. What's the matter with the clothes Ralph's wearing? Can't he tell that his tie's too wide? Maybe he should buy some old tab collars. Welcome back to the age of jive. Where's Kim hanging out lately, honey? You can't... There's got to be a line here, right? It's something like, you can't buy arcades unless you spend a lot of money. Everybody's talking about our AtGames Legends Ultimate, but you're still RetroRalph to me. Woo! Come on, dude. You can do it. AtGames Legends Ultimate. It's actually a pretty sweet cab, right? Like I think if we can take one thing away from this show is the Legends Ultimate is way cooler than you think.
Okay, I will. All right. You actually broke it down in a way that I never really was thinking about the cabinet. So I will go and say, I think, because I started in like the rah camp. I did.
Yeah,
go
you did.
back. It's all online. I was even doing videos where I was getting home from work. I had to go pick Tanner up one time for soccer. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm with my phone live streaming. And I'm like, guys, tell me when it's time to pick up my son for soccer. Because I was like modding it. Like,
Right.
So I was pumped. It's just I got that initial burnout, and I think that affected me. So you've put me back on track. Maybe I'll start covering it again and kind of diving into it a little bit more, right? Because I think there's been a lot of maturity that's happened over what?
No, nothing. Continue.
What was that?
Nothing.
What was your random thumbs up for?
Nothing. Just continue. It's
What
just
was
an
that?
inside joke. I was saying hi to my mom. So anyway, I think to kind of
So dumb.
break it down. This is exactly.
Are we going to talk about the farts at this convention? I mean,
Okay,
is that what
should
you're gonna
we-
talk about?
So okay, I'm not gonna. I will say I reviewed this video, and you can actually see the person who farted. He's in this
I
video.
don't think you should show.
I'm not going to show it.
Don't show who it is.
People say it was crop dusted by P-Dubs. It wasn't P-Dubs. It's not this guy. It's not like this guy was farting, but it's somebody. And if you guys want to watch it, I don't want to point it out because it's a little rude, But yeah,
But you are.
no, I'm just going to mention it because I don't know. There's all 100 people that go watch that video again. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe you'll be like, yeah, you thought it was this guy, or you thought it was that guy, or you thought it was that guy.
Although
You thought
that
it was
guy's
that guy.
eyebrow, the guy on my left shoulder's eyebrow position would kind of maybe indicate some straining. So
Yeah, we probably should explain it, but for those of you that don't know, we were at CES and we did this video at the iArcade. We couldn't finish it was like only, let's see, what is it? Like, we planned probably like a 30 minute, but we had to cut it short because somebody farted.
but it
and it
wasn't
was
like the kind
really
of fart.
bad.
It wasn't the kind of fart that like dissipates. It was linger,
Rexer show it was him.
saturated.
We did meet Rexer there. Maybe
no, it wasn't you. You're tall. He's easy to spot. It wasn't Rexer unless he was like Sonic the Hedgehogging through the convention center. Yeah. So that was brutal, man. I mean, it was funny because I was trying to make a point there in the video. If you watch it back, I was trying to talk about the iPhone app or the Android app, and I never really get to it because I'm so distracted by the fart. And then the weird thing is I think there's no way it was the single fart. It was someone came in because it dissipated after some time. I was holding it together. Then Justin goes on camera and he starts getting the whiff of it.
I'm trying to think.
And then he's also-
I think this is
yeah.
where, yeah, right there.
Yeah, there it
This
is. Yeah.
me, like-
Oh, yeah. See, look at Justin's face. Oh.
And see, this is the CEO, right, of iArcade. He's
No,
probably
that's not
like,
the CEO, right? That wasn't
Yeah.
the CEO. I thought that's the marketing guy.
oh, I
I thought
thought,
the CEO is Zhang. I thought Zhang is the CEO.
yeah, but
isn't
why were we meeting that guy?
he? He's their marketing guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
okay, but he's like eyeing us like, what are they doing? This is like, we can't do it. Anyway.
I never noticed that you cover your nose.
Yeah, it's
That's
bad.
awesome. I was like, double dragon.
Like, I don't think, and you know, this is weird because I don't even know if you were there, guys. It was the worst ever. Like,
no, it was bad. It was like, all right, I don't want to, this is going to get a little vulgar, but
so hard.
But when
the smell came from my arcade. So.
No, it did not.
No.
but that's funny. No, it was, all right, I promise we'll get back on track right now, but it was very potent. It was like, it was like the difference between, I made a sandwich, right? I made a sandwich with turkey, cheese, and pickles and bread. That's probably not going to be bad if you pass gas after. It'd be like, you know what? I'm going to order some pork fried rice and like some dumpling, like a bunch of fried food. Like I'm going to get the most fried, greasy food I possibly can. That's going to be a different scenario. And that's what we walked into.
You're basically really describing what the guy was eating.
I actually never saw what he was eating. Maybe you did. I saw.
I did.
Oh, no. This is going to be bad. See, I thought maybe for a second we might be in a position where we could ask iArcade for a free unit. That's probably not going to happen. So now I have to spend $300 because you had to bring up the damn farts.
Yeah. This is the episode where we brought it back and then lost it. All right. I think, Ralph.
But I like your angle. I want to circle back. I like your angle on AtGames. And I don't want people to think I was a big supporter of it when it first came out. I think they got some interesting things going on. They had a rocky start, in my opinion, where like the updates were happening so frequently, but the later stuff I think has been pretty good. I do think they've focused on some features that were like random outliers that no one needed. Like, I don't need my arcade to be a jukebox, but maybe there are people out there that care about that. I would rather see them focus engineering efforts on new product development and making the existing product better, but not features like a jukebox. I'd rather them hone in on ArcadeNet, make that tight, add 100 more games, like make it bomb, and I'd pay a subscription service for it. Right. So that's what I would rather see them do. The add-on game thing is cool. It is. You can add games to it. I think that's neat. If you have the drive and desire to go down that path. I really do like the Steam aspects of it because with Steam, I can play more modern games, right? If I want to play games like Street Fighter 4, if I want to play the brand new Streets of Rage game, like that's kind of cool. Because before I would have been going and doing a whole entire mod about how to teach someone how to play Streets of Rage 4. I don't have to do that. They have all the encoder button mapping stuff already figured out. And if it's not mapped right, I can map it right because their software allows me to do that. So there's a lot of cool stuff to it. But I think I needed to look at it as a DIY multicade. And now I've seen it more clearly, I think, because that's really what it is. The 350, I don't even really have interest in. It's the accessibility to all this other stuff that I do.
That's what I realized recently when I was talking to other people. Again, so here's another real quick story. Well, I'll answer this real quick. I am getting the 48th anniversary, so hopefully it will come May 14th. And I have not yet considered whether I will sell the Galaga or the yellow Pac-Man. I'm going to wait until I have them all, and then I'll make a decision. I may be modding one of them. We'll see how it goes. But interestingly enough, we have those $50 arcade 1-ups that were coming out. And so I looked in my area, and there was one not too far away. So I drove to it, and I was trying to be super safe, and we needed to go to Walmart anyway. So I went to this particular one to pick up stuff and then see if I get the $50 one. They didn't have it, and I didn't call or anything like that, but I was going to make the trip anyway, and it wasn't that far.
Yeah.
But everything said it was in stock. My site said it was in stock. Brickseek said the app said it was, the Walmart app says it was in stock. Anyway, it wasn't there. So I go there, and there's this guy. There's this guy in the hallway, right there, where the arcade 1-ups are, and he's got his hand on the Mortal Kombat. You're going to love this story, Zohar. So the guy's like, he's looking at me. He's like, hey, have you ever played these? I was like, dude, yeah. Like, I got like over 10 of them, right? Like, it's really good. And he goes, should I get it? And it's like him and his wife. I said, well, maybe. Are you a huge Mortal Kombat fan? Because that's when I started realizing, like, well, it depends on what type of person he is. I'm not going to sit here and just be like, dude, you should totally get that cabinet. It was a $299 Mortal Kombat. And, it was the full price, right?
Yeah.
And they didn't have any risers, anything. So I asked him another question. It's like, well, is that game a game that's passionate to you that you remember playing as a kid. And he was like, yeah. And he's like, how big is it? You know, how big is this cabinet? And I was like, well, without a riser, it goes pretty low. And I'm kind of showing him where it will stand, you know. And he's like, so you'd have to sit down. The guy said he was 5'10". I was like, you're probably going to have to sit down, but you probably want a riser. And I said, see right there, the TMNT, right there, it's $399. It didn't have a discount. That comes with a riser. And I showed him the picture. And I'm like, see, you can get that. But there's other options out there. And I said, there's a main cabinet out there called like the AtGames Legends Ultimate, has 350 games and all this. He's like, no, man. I want this Mortal Kombat. I'm like, great. You should totally get the Mortal Kombat then, because that was what he wanted. That when he was walking through Walmart, clearly he did a double take, right? He's like, oh, whoa, Mortal Kombat. I remember this game. That's what that cabinet is made for specifically. But there's another group of people that really like to tinker. And they like to play around and they like to mod. And so you have a choice now. Do you buy now? If you're going to buy a $50 arcade 1-up and then mod it, that's going to save you some money. But if you want to pick up a basically ready to go, like the ease of use to mod is really easy, and there's a lot of options, and then you get that same feeling of, look, I just loaded my own game on it. It wasn't that hard. Like, you can connect so many things into it. Like, why not hook up a Mister to it? You know, like why aren't they working on that? Why don't they make it where, you know, I can easily plug it into a Mister and then actually get cycle accurate gameplay from these arcade cabinets? You know, and not just a Raspberry Pi. I think that will come soon. I hope it does. And so, and then iArcade, I think they're going for simplicity. I think they're going to try to be somewhere in the middle. It's probably not going to be a modding cabinet. It's going to be, here you go. It's simple. It's hybrid. It's in the middle.
It's kind of hybrid. That's a good way to put it. It's like a cross between an arcade 1-up and an AtGames, right? It's like they're working on the simplicity angle and they don't want to give you a zillion options.
Yep.
The zillion options isn't bad. I just think there are certain people that can get overwhelmed with options. You know, they want, but that's where I feel like you're onto that, right, dude? I think, is this final thoughts time? What are we doing? I don't know. Wait, what are we doing?
I think it's time for final thoughts.
Really? We're not even at the hour mark yet. Come on, people don't want us to leave yet. Do you guys want us to leave already? I think we were on a roll, but all right. It's final thoughts time. You sure?
I'm waiting to see what people say.
I don't know. No, Terry B says no final thoughts. Okay, we got.
All right.
The no's are rolling in.
Then we'll keep it going a little bit longer then. Okay, don't go.
1 more hour, please. We'll definitely not go in 1 more hour. 2 more hours. Oh my gosh. No, there's definitely a limit to the show time. Otherwise, we kind of beat a dead horse. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of other cool things.
I know what we can talk about. There were some people asking about what about the other products that Legends Ultimate is coming out with. So we got Legends Ultimate connected device, right? And they also have the Legends Gamer. So tell me, Ralph, what's up with the Legends Gamer?
So the Legends Gamer is interesting because, you know, I think if that was a smart move, because the thing is, so if I think of other products in that category, my instant reaction is a Pandora's box. The problem with a Pandora's box is they release one every year and they try to fix something and they break other stuff, or they add something and they remove something. It's never perfected. The Pandora's box is like, it's just, they want to keep making new ones, and they have crap buttons. They don't have good joysticks. You end up having to mod the whole thing. And if you do that, you're spending way too much money. So this is like, to me, this product is 100% a Pandora's box kit, like annihilator. So this was a smart move by them. And someone else made up one other point. Now, I'm going to go out on a whim here and say something. Something that I think would be really cool is think of this. What if your arcade cabinet was just like, and we'll use the AtGames Legends Ultimate as an example. What if your arcade cabinet was a canvas? So it had the things you need to paint, right? And your paintbrush, if you will, and your paints are your control panel. Well, what if someone told you this is the last arcade cabinet you'll ever have to buy?
Oh, interesting.
Because you can take the control, like, let's call it, I just sold you the first perpetual arcade cabinet because that control panel has all the smarts. So I just take that out, So you're not buying a new cabinet from me. You're only buying a new control panel. That kind of made me think that when they did the Legends Gamer, because I'm like, well, dude, all the smarts is in that control panel. So in effect, imagine if they took it even a step further and there was like a subscription service to the cabinet where like it guaranteed you that you would be eligible for the new one when it came out or something, right? Or that if you subscribe to their services, you'd get a discount in year 2 when the new one came out to play more games and more modern games and stuff like that. Like the fact that the smarts are in there, I don't know if this was intentional or not, because there's a lot of stuff in that small package.
Yeah.
You could even like have 3 different models of a control panel that service different things. And if it's
let me
nerd out. Think that.
Let me nerd out real quick on this Legends Gamer, and I'll tell you why I'm excited about it. It's this guy right here.
Did I go off on a tangent? Did I go?
No, you're good, man. You're good. So this guy right here, this is like a little dongle that's going to go behind your TV. Now, all the smarts are in here. Why is that smart? Because the connection between here and your television is HDMI. So that means it's not HDMI that's wireless. That would introduce a whole bunch of lag. But what's wireless is this. They chose Bluetooth for this one. The SoC that's inside this has a Bluetooth built in. So that's what they went with. I think that's fine. Maybe 2.4 gigahertz would have been slightly better, but I was told that they achieved really high-end, low latency, I should say, between this guy and the dongle. So this guy right here, I think it stands alone, and it's just the control panel with micro.
Are you saying that the processor is not in that?
Yeah, the processor is not. It's actually genius.
You know that for fact?
Yeah. I talked to PK about this part because I was like, hey, can you tell me details about this part? And he was like, yeah, the processor's in here, and it's a Bluetooth connection to here. And this guy can take batteries now because it's not trying to power a PCB.
That's pretty cool.
It's just like a very simple chip. You got a little LED here. So, hey, thanks. My daughter brought me a beer. So, cool. Thank you so much. So, it powers on.
Kimberly. Just kidding.
So, it powers on, and then it's just connecting Bluetooth to here. So, yeah, it's pretty fantastic. Like, I don't know. Is there a Pandora's box that does it like that? Not the ones that I've been saying.
So I'll tell you something real quick. There is. So there's I thought I had one right here. So there is one that comes with basically the box sits on your on like your TV stand or whatever, and it has the Pandora's box in it. And then it's Kim's birthday tomorrow.
Oh.
So isn't that cool? So if you guys are in the chat, definitely say happy birthday to Kim. I didn't realize she was watching right now. So,
well, may the 4th be with her.
Yeah. So she's super, super stoked on that. Well, I don't know. She's not stoked because she thinks she's old, but she's not old at all. She looks great. She's not old, which is awesome. And I'm super excited to celebrate her birthday tomorrow. We're getting some lag. Oh wow, Zohar, man. Come on, cool down with the super chats. But thank you so much. This is officially my favorite YouTube show. Well, thank you, Zohar. That we appreciate it. Yeah. Appreciate it a lot. You're definitely a super fan, and we love that.
Yep.
So, and you've been one for a long time, so we definitely appreciate that. Yep. I also want to have a quick, Justin, I know I didn't plan this, but I just wanted to really quickly, where is it? I wanted to say thanks to someone. So this guy that watches the show, he sent me this for my birthday. And he wrote this really neat note. I just wanted to, so thank you, Dino, for sending this. This is really awesome. It's actually, you put this on you put this on a table, and then you can plug in like all your retro mini consoles to it to power them up. Like, it's really neat. And then the other thing was cool is he put this note in, and you guys will get a kick out of this because he put something in here for Justin that was funny. Nice. He said, happy belated birthday from Ohio. Thanks again for all of the entertainment you provide. I hope this finds a home in your game room. I use mine to power all my retro classic consoles, the mini consoles. Take care and stay healthy, Dino. And he said, P.S. I included a little gift I thought you could send to Justin since you seem to hate Star Wars. And it's a little Yoda.
Nice.
That's holding an avocado. So I thought that was awesome. Pretty cool. I don't hate Star Wars, but that made me laugh.
Have you even seen Star Wars?
Yes, I've seen Star Wars.
Uncomfortable silence.
I've seen Star Wars. I'm not the biggest, super fan, but I love it. I don't love it, but I don't. No, Mike, I don't hate Star Wars. Mike runs the Cantina cast. He's gonna be like,
Wait, what's the Cantina? I did not know about that.
I don't know.
Tomorrow's gonna be a lot of fun at work. I can tell you that. We got a lot of fun stuff planned.
And then I got to give a shout out to
4th.
Paul Prue because he's a buddy I grew up with. So I'm not even. It doesn't even matter in the comment. I just want to say, thank you for being supportive of the channel. I definitely appreciate that.
So, Mike,
So
you,
I think
you guys doing something special tomorrow? Because tomorrow's Star Wars Day. And
I'm sure Mike's getting ready right now. So I did. So hey, right here, nice, Kim. You got to make him watch The Mandalorian. All right. I actually tried to watch Mandalorian with Kim, and I got through the first episode, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. He's like, they're going after the same target. This robot thing is super funny. she was sleeping. I was like, come on. And the first episode, until I got to the end, it was like, it kind of got really fun at the end, right?
Yeah.
And she was sleeping. So maybe it wasn't fair of me. I had her watch it like when it was late at night, but she's going to get mad at me for that, by the way.
Yeah, our family's like watched Mandalorian like at least 10 times.
Well, it's her birthday tomorrow, so I'm not going to make her watch Mandalorian. She can watch whatever she wants this weekend, the rest of the weekend, and tomorrow.
Yeah,
so
see,
she can watch
Zohar is all like, it's as good as Mortal Kombat. That's how good Mandalorian.
All right, I'm planning on watching it. All right, so I think I think we're at final thoughts time, really.
Okay, let's do it. Final thoughts time, guys. What did we learn today, Ralph?
We learned that actually, it's final thoughts time. We learned that the company iArcade really likes vowels. One vowel in particular, the letter I. And they used to hop II, but now they iArcade. So Captain Sony VP, let's set sail and build the best iArcade we can. But not only that, we also learned that maybe I lost my way. I couldn't see something that was so clearly in front of me. This arcade cabinet that had all these capabilities, and I got frustrated over multiple firmware updates. And now, Justin has showed me the light. So Justin, thank you for that. I appreciate it very much. And now, you should end it. But there's one more thing I want you to do.
What is it?
Because it's closing time.
Oh, what?
Yeah, everyone wants it.
No.
Everyone wants it.
Jeez, why? I close.
Everyone wants it.
Okay. Do people really want it?
I think they want it.
I don't think they
Guaranteed
want
they want it.
time.
You want to know what's awesome is not one person noticed this. I wanted someone to make fun of me. Not one person made fun of me for something on this episode. I can't believe they didn't. How in God's name did they not make fun of something very obvious about me on this episode?
You cut your own hair?
No.
Is it something to do with your hair?
Oh, wait, hold on. Penelope, what's up? Penelope, what's going on? Your dad is a really cool guy, by the way. All right. That was, sorry, this was my family. He asked if I could say hi to his daughter, Penelope. No one. All right, Justin, look. I'm wearing one of Kim's headbands. How do you guys, and I kept it on purpose, not one person. How can you not make fun of that? Oh, wait, hold on. Someone did.
It's your headband.
Yes. I was like, how can I go a whole episode wearing a freaking headband and not one person brings it up?
You're going to make headbands cool again or something.
So make fun of me for that. Go tweet, do whatever you need to do. I'm sure. Anyways, are we gonna close? I don't.
I guess.
Did they say yes
maybe.
to closing time?
I don't know. Let's see. Closing time. I'm not gonna do it.
What? Come on. People are dropping like flies, though. Maybe can you metal it up?
Closing time. Open up the doors and let you out into the world. Closing time. Turn off all the lights on from every boy and every girl. So gather up your jackets, move into the exits.
Yes!
I hope you have found a friend.
This is the Justin I wanted.
Closing time. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. I know who I want to take me home. I know who I want to take me home. I know who I want to take me home. Take me home.
Yes. I love it.
Closing time. Every new beginning comes from some
other
beginnings end.
Love it. Freaking love it. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate each and every one of you. We'll be back again next Sunday. I think it's Mother's Day. We'll squeeze it in anyway. You walk away, go in the bathroom, watch the stream, whatever you got to do. But we'll be back. We'll be back on Sunday. I don't care how you watch it. You got to watch it. But that's it. Thanks again, guys. We love all of you. Any last words, Justin?
Yeah, everybody stay safe, and we'll see you on the next one.
The next one. All right, take care, guys. The next one. Bye, guys.
See ya.